I always knew my family favored my sister, but I never expected it to blow up like this. My name's Mac, I'm 27, and I'm the kind of guy who never liked conflict. I always did what I was told, stayed quiet, stayed helpful, and honestly, I thought that would earn me love and respect. Spoiler, it didn't. My sister, Rachel, is 25. Growing up, she was the golden child, the kind of girl who got praised just for existing. She barely helped around the house, constantly flunked classes, and still somehow ended up the center of every family gathering. Me? I had straight A's, worked part-time jobs, fixed things around the house, and still got asked, "Why can't you be more like Rachel?" I let it go. For years. When my parents hit financial troubles 3 years ago, I started sending them money every month. I didn't have much, just a modest tech job, but they needed help, and I didn't want to see them lose their house. Rachel, she was living in the city, posting filtered brunch photos and dating guys with muscle cars. My parents never asked her for help, not once. But me, I was the fallback guy. Still, I never complained. Now, fast forward to last year. Rachel gets engaged. Big ring, big announcement, big family dinner. At a fancy restaurant my parents couldn't afford unless they used my money. And they did. They used my money to pay for a dinner I wasn't even told about until afterward. I only found out because my cousin tagged me in a group photo from the dinner. When I asked about it, my mom brushed it off with "Oh, it was a last-minute thing. We didn't want to bother you." Right, because flying across the country and helping with bills is no big deal, but attending dinner is bothering me. Whatever. I swallowed it. Again. A month later, Rachel calls me. She's crying. Says the venue she picked is way too expensive. Her fiancé's family can't contribute much and she doesn't want to downgrade. She asks, no, begs, if I can help cover the cost. Says she'll pay me back once things settle down. I didn't have much savings, but I had some. Around $8,000. I was planning to use it to move into a better apartment. But you know me. I said yes. I wired her $5,000 the next day. She was thrilled. My parents called me a blessing, said I was the best brother in the world. I won't lie, I felt good. I thought maybe, finally, they saw me. Weeks passed. No invite, no email, no text. At first, I thought maybe they were mailing the invitations, or maybe Rachel was just behind. But then I saw another cousin post a photo of their invitation on social media. And then another. And then my aunt. I waited, checked the mail every day, checked my email. Nothing. I finally called Rachel. She didn't pick up. I texted. No reply. I called my mom. She answered, cheerful as ever, until I asked, "Hey, just wondering when the wedding is? I haven't gotten my invite yet." There was a pause. A long one. Then she said, "Oh, honey, we thought it might be awkward if you came." Awkward? She said Rachel was worried that I might not get along with her fiancé's side of the family, that I wouldn't enjoy it anyway, that it would be better for everyone if I didn't come. I was stunned, absolutely frozen. I couldn't even speak. After a few seconds, my mom tried to change the subject, asked how work was going. I hung up. I didn't sleep that night. I didn't eat the next day. I just kept replaying everything. I paid for part of that wedding. My money was in the decorations, the catering, the dress. And they thought I wouldn't enjoy it, that I was the awkward one. 3 days before the wedding, Rachel finally texted me. "Hey, I hope you understand. This is just a really stressful time and we're trying to keep things small and drama-free. Thanks again for helping. It means a lot." I stared at that text until my vision blurred, and then I made a decision. I wasn't going to be the quiet, helpful brother anymore. I was done being the backup plan. I was done being used. I started planning something, not out of rage, not even revenge, just clarity. Because if they thought they could cut me out and still benefit from me behind the scenes, They were about to learn just how wrong they were. After that gut punch of a text from Rachel, I stayed radio silent. I didn't reply, I didn't lash out, but I also didn't forget. On the day of the wedding, I didn't check social media. I didn't want to see any photos or fake happy captions. Instead, I took the day off work and spent it reviewing all the receipts and bank transfers from the past year. Not just the wedding payment, but the money I'd been sending my parents monthly. $800 here, $500 there. It added up over 15,000 $. In total, and for what? To be discarded the moment I wasn't convenient anymore? That's when I remembered something important. Rachel promised to pay me back. There was no formal agreement, but I had the messages, the voice notes, screenshots. She said she would return the money. That was enough to take action. I sent her a message that night. Calm, direct. Since I wasn't invited, I expect the $5,000 I sent for the wedding to be returned. I've attached a document outlining the payment plan options. Let's handle this professionally. No reply. The next day, I emailed it to her, CC'd my parents. Still nothing. 3 days later, I filed a small claims case. I knew I might not win. It was based on informal communication, but I also knew it would shake them. And it did. Rachel called me, screaming, saying I was ruining her honeymoon vibe, that I was petty, toxic, and just jealous. I calmly told her that petty would have been crashing the wedding. Petty would have been putting her fiancé on blast online. I was simply holding her accountable, like any adult would. That was when the tone shifted. She stopped yelling and started begging. Told me she didn't have the money, that her new husband was already stressed, and could we please just let this go? I didn't budge. A week later, my parents called. My mom cried, said Rachel was devastated, that I was tearing the family apart, but I asked one question. Why was I never invited? There was silence. Then she said, because Rachel thought you'd make her uncomfortable. Not we, not I, not the family. Just Rachel. That told me everything. So I said, well, now I'm uncomfortable being your financial safety net. And I hung up. A few days later, I got an email from Rachel. She was offering to repay in installments, $500 a month starting next month. I accepted. I sent her a basic repayment contract with e-signature, and she signed it. Part of me expected her to default. But here's the twist. She actually started paying. Maybe because her husband saw the lawsuit. Maybe because she realized I wasn't bluffing anymore. But the damage was done. I wasn't part of their world anymore, and honestly, that was the best thing that could have happened. I took the payments and used them to finally move into the apartment I'd been dreaming about. It wasn't just better. It felt like mine. No strings, no guilt. A few months later, my dad called. He said they were struggling again, that they missed me, that maybe we could start fresh. I asked if Rachel was still the golden child. He hesitated, and I said, then you still have her. Ask her for help. I hung up, blocked their numbers, and haven't spoken to them since. For the first time in years, I'm not anxious when my phone rings. I'm not begging for scraps of affection. I'm free. Because sometimes family isn't blood. Sometimes family is just who you stop financially supporting.